dream, not of what you are, but of what you want to be.
From the moment we reached the climax of the second dream, we weren't just hit with the huge revelation that our player character hasn't actually been our true player character. We were also given an actual identity. We weren't just this death machine tearing our way through the solar system. We were the operator, the void child. We had trauma and flaws and mysteries and personality now. This one event changed the dynamic of the game and how we viewed the entire Warframe universe. There's just only one problem. Compared to the Warframe, the operator kinda sucked. While the second dream is one of the first major and cinematic quests in the storyline for Warframe, it comes at a point in the game where the player has sunk a good chunk of hours in, and most of the time already forged their own playstyle and weapons and equipment. Once you could swap between your Warframe and operator on the go, mid-mission, you would notice that what was essentially happening is you're hopping out of a magic metal god tank that's brought down armies and swapping into a fleshy little laser beam buddy with barely any health that could drop like a fly if you weren't careful. To upgrade your operator and basically make them useful in most of the game's missions, you would have to begin the arduous task of farming focus, one of the worst grinds in Warframe to date. You'd have to farm these lenses that are rare drops from open world bounties, equip them on your Warframe, armor, and equipment, and wait for a golden orb to spawn in missions to begin collecting focus as a small portion of your XP gained during a small window of time. This portion of XP can be made larger using more lenses on multiple pieces of equipment. Another method would be to hunt Eidolons for their shards whenever the Earth is in nighttime. But good luck with that, because they're basically raid bosses, and if you're just starting out with a squishy ampless operator, you're not going to have a good time. Speaking of amps, once you've completed certain quests and gained enough standing in the open world sections of Warframe, you can begin crafting special operator-specific laser weaponry, which honestly, if crafted with the right parts, deal massive damage to most of the enemies in the game. Now, these amps are modular. You can mix and match recipes to create an amp that suits your playstyle. After another long session of grinding out whichever open world's resources you're crafting the amp at, be it the Plains of Eidolon or the Orb Valis. Which segues us here to this series. After you've done your time and grinded out everything you need to make your operator as beefy and powerful as possible, could you play through most of the star chart without your Warframe? Alright, so the entire star chart as the operator actually is a little bit bigger than it sounds. So I decided for this series, let's lay some ground rules that we must follow for the following playthrough. Rule number 1, no interception or excavation. Basically, multiple control points. There's just too much to deal with and too much of a hassle as the operator. So, number 2, minimum of at least 5 missions per planet, including the assassination. I'm pretty sure every planet has an assassination mission, but if it doesn't, we'll get to that when we get to it. Number 3, all kills must come from the operator. Obviously, it's an operator run. Number 4, now this one's interesting. Some Warframe traversal is allowed if playing in a large tile set with multiple objectives, like the spy missions. I've actually recorded a couple planets in already, ahead of time before recording all of this, and I just happen to know some of those Venus spy missions or Corpus tile sets go on forever, so I allow some quick traversal as long as we're not killing anything outside of the operator mode. Number 5, companions are okay because they're not related to the Warframe. The companion will follow your operator all the same, so they're good to go. And last one, number 6, Umbra is allowed for a companion for later enemy levels. Just in case I'm struggling on like Sedna or the Void or something, I wanted to at least make it okay, because as long as we're playing as the operator, Umbra's basically just a companion, and that seems fair enough to me. So, these are all of the rules. With that being said, let's begin this journey.